Cass, it's a pleasure to have you here today. Thank you so much for wanting to join us and giving us the time and the privilege to talk to you. Me and Cass have been working together for over a year. So that's very important to kind of give people an understanding of why we're doing this, what's the approach we're using, and also what kind of results we can expect in the right amount of time. We're not here for quick fixes or BS. We're here for true transformational change that is going to last. What we've seen in this a year and a half, it always makes me giggle because it's so incredible what people can achieve in a relatively short amount of time, because the things that we changed and worked on, both mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and physically, people tend to achieve those goals in 2 to 3 to 5 years. And we're able to actually compress it down to one while enjoying the journey. And that's something that I want to put out there. So let us hear a little bit about yourself first. So we give people an idea of who you are. And if people are interested, of course, and they want to book a call, the link is going to be in the description down below, or you can just message me on Instagram. But let me hear, Cass, just introduce yourself, whatever you want to say, we'll take it.
Thank you, Nevan. My name is Cass. I'm 29 years old. I live in Copenhagen, and I am an independent artist, and I own a tattoo studio with my partner. And then I am a proud dog parent.
That's great. Let's shout out your tattoo studio. What's the name? Where can they find you? Because we know
This
it's the best queer place to get to.
It is the queer studio of Copenhagen, and it's called Fall of Man. Five artists, and I'm very proud of all of them. And also part of like this whole journey has like made me able to shape this place into just being like a really beautiful and safe place for both my employees and my clients. So
yeah, absolutely. I remember that when you came to me, one of the things that we wanted to work on not only was how you felt in your health, meaning wanting to see your body change, you feeling comfortable in not only your body, but truly yourself on all levels. And at the same time, feeling comfortable and stepping up as a leader in your business and wanting to kind of lead yourself first, and then being able to create an environment that was supportive of your artists and the people that you work with. And again, for everybody out there owning a business, myself included, we know that it's so important to want to give the best experience for those in and the clients. So this is not only a transformation in terms of your body and your health and your routines, your habits, but also how that kind of then translates into your job and being a better leader, being a better dog owner, a better partner, right? And even just a better artist, because it's all fitting together. And we'll discuss more about this. Tell us a little bit what were the issues or the problems or the things that made you wanted to reach out and actually start the journey here with us.
I mean, you already mentioned a few of the things, but it was more like, I mean, it was a lot of different areas. It was like with my self-esteem, my physique, and just generally being overwhelmed and dealing with a lot of anxiety, and like how all of these things affected me personally and my business. Like I felt stuck, and I always had a huge drive for making change and improving constantly. And that's always been like something I hold very dearly. And suddenly I just was struggling with it a lot and could feel myself freeze up every time because my goals were so big and the progress was zero. I had my anxiety take over my life basically. I think I had weekly anxiety attacks, and I tried a lot of like normal therapy,
Mm-hmm.
which was nice and fine. It wasn't bad, but I just didn't see the change that I wanted. So yeah, that was definitely like the kind of like problems in all aspects of my life rooted in this like anxiety and low self-esteem kind of.
It's incredible to hear you say these things because we've been working together for over a year, and looking at you now, hearing your updates just before this call, hearing all the things that have changed, and literally who you are today, just having seen not a transformation, it's more you becoming comfortable and developing yourself to and feeling in alignment. But it's I didn't even remember. If I didn't have notes and if I didn't hear you say these things, it feels like it's almost a different person. Words like anxiety attacks, words like overwhelm, feeling stuck, no progress, low self-esteem. I haven't heard you utter those words in months. In months. And
It does
that's,
feel like looking back at a different
yeah,
life.
it feels really mind-blowing to me as well. And sometimes that's also the thing. We tend to forget, which is one of the reasons why I want to do these interviews, not only to kind of show what to other people what's possible and why we're doing this and what they can expect, but also just to celebrate you, to make you see and myself see, hey, this is not something we do for fun, but this is definitely like pivotal is such a huge thing that we were able to actually create and achieve in such a short period of time, because a year plus some months, it's nothing. It's nothing. It goes so fast. And here we are today. So question for you would be, why did you choose to join us? And why did you choose me as your coach and this as your community to kind of go and pursue those dreams and get unstuck and, work on yourself at this level over all the other millions of other programs or kinds of therapy or coaches that are out there?
I think it was multiple things, and most of them were based on like some kind of like indescribable gut feeling. Like I didn't even know kind of like what does a coach do? Like what is a coach and like why do I need it? And like I never thought about this. And I got introduced to your page because I mentioned that I to a friend that I wanted to get ripped. And they were like, check out this profile. Like, okay, cool. And then I just felt drawn to the vibe. And like I didn't even really think when I applied. It just like was something that I did. Like there wasn't much thought behind it. It was very much like an intuition thing. Looking back at it and reflecting, I think what really felt nice for a change was to see like there was a place where I could also be open about my gender identity without like any fear, because it was a safe space to do so, and the whole like empowering vibe of it as well. And I remember like I had a therapist that I quite liked and she gave me some really good tools, but it was also a place where I never even mentioned, like I never even corrected with pronouns or mentioned anything about my gender identity, because it wasn't it it wasn't a space where I was sure how that would be received. And just like having that anxiety also pushed off my plate was really nice. And obviously seeing like your progress photos from your clients and everything, I was like, hell yeah, that looks so fucking badass.
Yeah. People are badasses. Like we definitely, I definitely want to shout out to everybody that has been with me over the years and it's with me now. We're very proud. And yeah, I still remember each and every client, and I'm definitely very proud of all the achievements. And thank you for that. I only work with the right people at the right time. So what you feel like that intuition has to be there. If you don't feel like pulled towards a certain thing, maybe not immediately, right? I definitely would love for you to kind of explore things before you just jump right into it. But sometimes if you know, you know, and it's difficult to even describe in words. So I understand that it's more of a vibe or a gut feeling. And I think on the other side of that, it's also we need to override a lot of fears, a lot of uncertainties. We don't know what we're getting into. We don't know, am I investing my money right by doing this kind of thing that I never heard about? Because a lot of people that I get in touch with and I talk to kind of fit into what you said. They say, I don't know what a coach is, or I think it's just a personal trainer. And that's not what I am. We're here for deep transformation. And it's not just you get a workout plan and diet plan or an app and it costs like $20 a month. No, this is totally different. This is we're higher level and we're deep transformation. And I want people to leave here with their life transformed and their mindset, their way of thinking completely radically shifted into empowering them. There is the vibe that is very important, meaning I only work with the right people. So I know I can only help certain kind of people. And usually those people are how I was or how I am over the years. So that's why we have such a strong community and we have so much fun together going through this journey of personal development and health fitness journey together, because we understand each other. We're all the same person. We just have different versions of it. And that's why the vibe is so strong, both on our gender journeys or our kind of deeper sense of self journey, and also the struggles and the skills and the things that we developed over the years. So we're perfectionists, we're overachievers, we're people that put ourselves last, or tend to do that, and always want to help and be there for others, and then kind of tend to forget ourselves. And at the same time, we might have a tendency to anxiety or depression or overwhelm or ADHD. You don't need to, justify yourself. You don't need to explain yourself. We get you, and we're on the same boat. So I appreciate that. I just want to ask you, like, as a result of working together for so many months, both on the physical side, the mental side, the emotional side, even things that happen through your life, what has been the outcome and how has it changed your life? Again, highlights, because otherwise we could talk for hours, but what were the most impactful things that you've seen us working on, and then actually giving you something that you can now use every day that is deeper than just going to therapy?
It's a tough question because it is so many things. So like trying to keep it short, I'd say like the most valuable and mind-blowing thing has been the whole like the approach of making these tiny actions every day that kind of like accumulate and ripple out into everything. Um, I've never really thought about how you have to like go all the way down to like the basics to like achieve the things that are up here. And that has been so real for me, like tiny steps and then building on top of that. It has been like affecting every part of my life. We started, I remember like doing the diet screening and like looked at how I ate and then started working out and like all these small things that suddenly like it just like woof, exploded, and this like ripple effect into like people in my life. It has kind of like rippled out to them as well. And like it's just been really cool how these like daily rituals and actions and things like that change your mindset about reaching your goals. Because I think a lot of my anxiety was also founded in this like hopelessness about like how can I change these things that are so huge, and having seen that like small daily actions can actually get me there, like, and inevitably will get me there, is like so cool. Because now I don't have this like worry about, okay, I can't make this huge change in a day, so it will never happen. Like I know it will happen with these standards that I've built for myself.
That's where we cannot just rely on motivation or discipline forcing ourselves, but we want to and need to build systems. And that's why we kind of have the two things that we do in the program is inner size and exercise. So we work on the mindset, the inner self, and then the practical side of fitness, nutrition, sleep, no stress, and all that, and how to actually nourish our bodies. And number two is SMASH, that stands for systems, right? Mindset, accountability, support, and a holistic approach. So what you're referring to is the first S, is literally having systems that are so detailed and so personal to you, right? Not everybody has the same things going on, but you have a system to how to work out the way that fits you in your life with your restrictions, your commitments, your passions, your way of living and wanting to do fitness and movement, as well as your goals. Because again, we have some physical goals we want to achieve, have a more masculine physique or a stronger body or less pain, whatever that is. The other part that is very important and most people I think forget is that we do need to have this North Star, this kind of GPS. And that's why I'm so proud of this community, because we're all working towards something together. And the goal is there for us to grow, not necessarily just to get it. We just want to grow into the person that can achieve any goal. What would you say it's in terms of like mindset shifts or things that on top of having these systems, what have been in your health and the way you approach your health, what has changed the most that you cannot almost recognize? I can just come, I have this question because I remember you weren't even eating. You were basically skipping meals. There was no really pattern in that. Therefore, we had a lot of tiredness, anxiety, things were overwhelming. We didn't have really daily rhythms that intentionally supported the goals you had and the places you wanted to get to. So can you tell us a little bit about that, if anything comes to mind?
The whole eating and also working out thing, and like just starting to drink water. I had days where I didn't drink water before, like at all. And just like seeing how that has impacted just like my brain health, to actually like my brain actually has stuff to run on now, is insane. Like now it makes sense. But at that part in life, I think I had this like subconscious mindset of like I don't deserve this food, or also like some old habits of like trying to eat less in order to like lose some unwanted fat deposits or whatever, like just some like unhealthy habits that were like in my subconscious that I didn't really think about. It was really cool to see how quickly that affected my health. I'm not sure like what exactly did the shift, but like as soon as I started the program, like from day one, and we started having this focus on my eating habits, like from that point on, I've had like so few anxiety attacks. Like it was immediately. And I think it was a mixture of like actually getting nutrients to my brain, but also just the whole like taking action. I think a lot of the therapy I tried before and all these things, I knew what my issues were like in some way, and reflected on that, but I didn't really get any action steps. And I think that really did something for me, like to take action.
I can imagine, because again, this is has also been my experience. It's therapy really, really helped me survive in certain periods of my life, but I was always left with the question, okay, what now? Now I know I have these issues
Yeah.
that come from this part of my childhood or this thing, and I love that, and that's very important. And we do part of this work also in this program. We definitely go to the subconscious mind. What things have you learned? What patterns of behavior have you set up for yourself? Are they serving you? Are they not? Where do they come from? How can we shift them and reprogram, rewire the brain through behavioral science and neuroscience and all that? But the thing is, with that kind of therapy, I always was left like you with this. And now what? Like, how do I then get to this goal? How do I actually achieve my dream physique, or a better relationship with food, or find a partner, or get that pay raise, whatever it is? It's just live my life and embrace myself. Without no action, it's going to be very, very tough. That's why I think just hearing that, number one, how we nourish our brain is not only food. It's going to be a lot of work on the mental side of things, but also taking that practical action. And I think this is what we help you do here is we give you the knowledge. We make you see or get more self-aware about what are your patterns on behavior, what's happening here, why are we doing that? But then we couple it with, okay, to shift that, what do you think we should do? And this is what usually works. This is going to help you get there faster. And then we actually have weekly plans. You never not know what you're going to be focused on based on your results. And this is not something I choose. This is something we co-create. We talk about what do you think works? What is my experience as a coach, and having worked with over 500 people at this point, worked on myself, and then put those two together. Also, just a very good reminder how much just taking care of the basics is going to do for mental health, and how much mental health is going to be related to the way you move, the way you eat, the way you talk to yourself, the communities you're in, the people you surround yourself with. It's not just medicine and psychiatrists and therapy. If someone was watching this right now or listening to this and was on the fence of making a change in their life, joining a program or joining this community, this program, what would you tell them now that you have gone through the process yourself? Because at the beginning, we don't know what you're getting into. We don't know if it's a good investment. We might be afraid of, I want to do it, but it's too expensive, or I want to do it, but what if I don't see any results? Most people that are on the fence have those kind of thoughts. I have them myself. What if it doesn't work? What if it's just another scam? So what has been your experience in the program, the whole process for you having me as your coach, anything that might help people understand what is this program about? Because I think it's also difficult to understand, hey, what is this about? Like, how do you get these insane results? What would you say if someone is on the fence about reaching out or joining?
If you see something and you have that gut feeling, and if it's something that is like this is like an investment, then like all these like thoughts come afterwards of like, oh, like all the anxiety thoughts like, oh, what if it's not worth it, and all the things you mentioned. And i think I think at that point it's really important to listen to that first initial gut feeling, and then kind of like grab onto that, because all the thoughts that come after, like it's like a survival thing screaming at you, right? Investing is scary, but you get this whole like kind of like you have to do it now, like you commit to it. And I think that really got me into this mindset of like it has to be now. Like if not now, then it's going to be next Monday, and next Monday will never come. That was really powerful, that like you have that like specific time frame, and now it's going to happen, and it's now or never kind of mindset about it. Kind of like helps you put that fire under your ass because you paid for something. So now you got to like get the most of it and like just give it all you got, right? Thing that I was also worried about was I didn't know what I was what was expected of me. Like, what do I need to do in this program? Like, I had no idea. I was like a little bit intimidated by like how much do I have to figure out myself. I was worried about the other side of it, right? Like getting tons of like guidelines shoved in my face that weren't tailored to me at all. And I think it just like hit this perfect middle ground of you taking my hand and telling me this is the plan, this is what we're going to do, but it's all on like my premises based on me as a person. The fear of like not being seen as an individual was like I never had that experience. Like you really just tailored everything for me, and I felt very seen and supported in that. So like the freedom of having it tailored to fit your specific needs, but also getting like the guidance and you taking the lead was a very, very perfect balance.
I'm very happy you talked about this because I'm not good at remembering, but it is what is expected of me. I don't have time. What if I gotta go to the gym this amount of time? Or what if this is the diet that they give me? There is nothing of that. It's all a collaboration. We're gonna figure it out together. Like we're doing this, we're trying to bring you from this version of yourself, scared, anxious, stuck, low self-esteem, low confidence, maybe not being clear on your goals, having some subconscious programming and kind of living not really intentionally, to actually being aligned, feeling aligned, going for your goals, having an actual roadmap to them, change your body, transform your health, creating a space of being that you love to inhabit, where you wake up every morning and you're not problem free, but you're excited to deal with things because your self-trust is reason, and you appreciate who you are and you see your own power. We need to see what are the things that are keeping you stuck. How are you thinking? What feelings come up that you haven't dealt with? What are you afraid of? And everything that you're mentioning are things that usually then we work on in the program. If you have a fear of, I need to people please, or I have a fear of, I gotta overachieve, or I have a fear of, I need to prove my worth, these are all symptoms. And I think this is also the difference between this program and others, is like, usually people go to different, like the nutritionist and the personal trainer and the therapist, because we think we have different problems and we think we kind of need to figure out and cure all these things. But these are just symptoms of something that is at the root. And what we do here is giving you an actual roadmap so you know exactly what to eat, what to do, how to train, how to go to sleep and have a great life based on you. And then at the same time, go inside, find the root and dissolve that. Once we dissolve the root, everything shifts. So super, super quick. I would love to hear a little bit of like, let's celebrate you. Give me some mind-blowing things that happened during this time that you were like, whoa, I never would imagine that happened. What are the highlights for you? What do you look back and you're like, shit, that was so cool. And I actually made it happen.
Relationship wise with all the people in my life, like I've gotten so much closer to my mother, and I started having this like really like a more authentic way of engaging with people, because this whole people pleasing had me not expressing what's going on inside. Like I would basically lie sometimes in order to like keep the peace. And now it's just like being honest with people, and even through hard conversations has just like it's enriched my relations so much, like with my friends and colleagues and family. Like it's been, I feel like I've gotten closer to all the people I love during this period of coaching. And yeah, and I also had more courage to like seeing, I guess it's correlated, but like seeing that all these things worked out so well. I was so anxious to like change my name, because when I started the program, I had this idea of like I wanted to change my name, and before I knew it, I had changed it like on my Instagram as well, and told my family members, and it just all went so well. Like I was so scared of something that just never happened. Like it was just no problems at all. Like that was so mind blowing. Like I almost forgot that this happened, like because it was so easy and I was so scared of it, and it was like boop, done. And having already had these like ways of handling conflicts and stuff, I was prepared for that potential conflict that just never came. Also, like physically has been insane. I didn't really know how to go to the gym when I started.
Of course.
I barely even went there. And I remember being so anxious when I worked out because I thought people were looking at me and that I didn't do things right. And now the gym is like it's like my playground, and I feel like I can have fun and I don't have these thoughts about, oh, what if this person is looking, like it's all gone. It's also been
That was a
like,
big thing. That was a big
yeah.
thing. I remember we had one of the first conversations. You weren't sure about going to the gym because you had this gym anxiety. Of course, like, are people looking at me? What do they think? I'm a newbie. I don't know how to use the machines. I don't know how to be there. This is not my place. It feels weird, especially as a queer person. It's like we have all these feelings, and of course they're very, very legitimate and valid, but they're also very much they keep us playing small. And I think a lot of like the red thread throughout this conversation, maybe, and your journey is like, again, I only work with the right people. And when I say that is also, I need to be fired up. I need to see some kind of fire in people, like a drive, something that I look at you or I listen to you, I see you, and I'm like, there's so much more in there. And I want to get it out of you. Like, this is like, we got to play bigger because I believe in you. And I want to see that come to life, to see how much things can change. Not because we have to, or we got to become better. We just want to see how much more impact, how much more fun, how much more love, how much more alignment, how much more fulfillment, how much more peace can we get just because we can. All of this is like getting to certain goals, whether it's a physique goal, whether it's a career goal or a relationship goal. But again, it's all about, can I get to a place where I feel a peace in my body because it looks like the body that I always wanted? Can I prove to myself that I can be strong mentally, emotionally, physically, and also that I stop playing small? I saw someone that had a lot of potential, had a lot of love for life, love for themselves even, and even just your gender journey, like how you've been exploring and developing within yourself, has really gone from I'm quote unquote afraid or playing small, anxious, stuck, feeling always about myself, people pleasing, to now feeling I'm playing bigger. I'm playing bigger games. I want to achieve more. I'm trusting myself and feeling confident enough to be putting myself out there. And therefore, I'm rewarded for it. I can see the results of the work I put in myself, and I can give others the best. So I think it went from playing small to playing way bigger games and really growing into that self-trust. Everything that you're saying is really this evolution almost, or coming back home and really kind of removing the shields of protection, all the emotions or patterns or almost bugs in the software that were removed, and now we're just a perfectly working computer.
I think coming back home, as you said, is a really good way to put it. I definitely feel like that, and I feel very in tune with myself again, in a way that like almost as if I'm reconnecting to the child version of me, more like intuitive, and I can see it finally in my art again. Like I have the same feeling when I create as I did when I started creating, and I feel like all the kind of corruption that has been throughout my like late teens and early adult years has like that's kind of like been melting away to get back into that feeling of just being authentic and doing things based on like what feels right for me instead of just always scanning for what the world expects. And I think it's very, that's like, for me, that's the definition of like happiness, like that I can act in all ways of in all areas of my life in a way that is like true to myself, being kind towards like that inner child that has been like put on like these weird restrictions from myself and society and everything. So yeah.
That's beautiful. Wow. I got chills when you were speaking about that. So I'm gonna say thank you so much for being here and sharing your story. It has been an
Thank you.
honor, and I definitely feel like I gained a new friend through this process, and I'm definitely rooting for you. And I cannot wait to see what more has to come. If anybody wants to join us, hear more about the program, just go in the links down below, and you'll find your answer.